So, but then BMB ends up becoming the center of its own controversy and legalities and all kinds of stuff.
More so than I ever had in the streets.
Right. Tell me the story of BMB.
I started off pretty good, you know, with, like I said, with Charli and Trick.
And that would be Charli Baltimore.
Yeah, Charli Baltimore.
Biggie's ex-girl.
Exactly.
And Trick, notorious Trick, Detroit's notorious Trick.
Yeah. No fly zone.
And Mr. No Fly Zone.
Yeah, which I started with him when my friend died. Click was the one who was promoting him. When Click died, I stepped in Click's place and helped facilitate his career before I went to prison.
Right.
So
you start off with Charli and Trick.
Yeah, so off with Charli and Trick. Did a lot of trailblazing. You know what I'm saying? Charli thought it was a bright idea to start like bringing on artists. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like embedded like the Murder Inc. idea in me. And they was just picking out. Well, we all were just picking out the talent. Whoever we thought we was talent, I'll bring them on. And this crazy thing is like, I had probably 10 artists that I was rotating with around the world for roughly 4 or 5 years without one contract.
All honor contracts, right?
Yeah.
All honor agreements.
All honor contracts.
Your word. That's
so
right.
This is where the legality stuff came in at, because like I ended up having this president who was uncomfortable about rotating without a contract because it was really no business getting done. You know what I mean? So
how were you financing it?
Just from managing and the money I already had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he's like, you gotta get contracts on people. So some of the first people he got contracts on was Kash Doll, Lil George, Charli, and then everybody, so on. But Kash, that was one of the first contracts. Now, mind you, I'm not a contract type of, I never was. I'm more on, you know what I mean? Like, let's align and let's go get the money from the system. Like, you know what I mean? That's my thing. I was just trying to align with people, create a locomotion, and let them, you know, and let me create a movement for, you know, and make some real shit happen. So it was one of the first contracts that I did, like I said, I did with Kash Doll. So when all that started happening, I've been moving around. I probably done spent $1.5 million on it within like 6-7 months. You know what I mean? I made people buy into who she is. You know what I'm saying? Everything that girl,
Kash Doll.
Yeah, Kash Doll. Like everything that girl asked for, she did. Everything she asked of her nigga, I did. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm being honest to her, she don't even know it, but anytime she pressed him for something, he called me. Whether it's a car, jewelry, you know what I mean? Some car, you know, if he get her a car, I might have bought the car, gave it to him to give to her. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of shit that she didn't know, but that's what it was. So this nigga basically was in a relationship for free. Like if she had to pay for,
wow,
yeah, he was in a relationship for free. He didn't have to do any work when he brought me on. At that point, I done everything.
Balling by proxy.
Yeah, I done everything for her. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I know she don't know is that when we start getting some heat up under her, he wanted me to stop.
What?
It was getting too big for him to control.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was getting too
big. She was caught in the sucker trap.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a loyal dude, so I'm not going to expose him. You know what I mean? You know, that's one thing I never did. I never exposed him, and I never tried to sleep with her. You know what I mean? Because out of respect for him.
That's an interesting dynamic in contrast to something that I came across about her having made some kind of statements against you at the point in which a situation came about.
Yeah.
Around BMB. So before you address that, take us along further in the story of BMB. Does BMB put out any work, put out any records, put out any material?
Yeah, let me tell you what my dumb ass was doing, bro. I'm not a music guy. I'm a people guy. The people I love is in the music. So
Right.
I was expecting somebody to know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna make sure you get the look, you get everything we have, everything you need to be successful. Nobody was doing the business. I didn't got all kind of projects made on everybody, bro. And we just hand passing them out. Not even uploading the shits. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Here we go again. This is no different than me not having a fucking scale. You hear me?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. See, and I was about to say that, there's a saying that goes, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you learn more, it doesn't matter how much more you get.
Right.
You're going to do what you've always done until you've either lost enough being that way or change finds you.
And that's the thing. If I'd have really concentrated on wanting to be in the business, I probably would have learned more. But my thing has always been people.
Right. You were in the people business.
So long as I wake up and everybody, hey, look, fucking with me, I'm cool. You know what I mean? But I had a dynasty just as big or bigger than the Cash Money and the Low Member when they gave them all that money. Matter of fact, we was rotating in the same circles doing the same shit, except they was uploading shit while we was passing out shit. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So that shit was crazy, man. So like I said, I sit up there and watch, and we did way more trailblazing than they did. But Master P, that nigga, that Joker just different. Like he's
real
different, bro. That Joker different. Baby is too though. Like they both of them is very. You got to take your hat off to them. But I can say, like, had I knew what the fuck to do, we would have been right there with them, as far as legendary movements. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely can believe that, and I still believe that's possible based upon what I've garnered from this conversation. So BMB is making moves. BMB is moving in the same circles as these fast up and coming contemporaries like Cash Money and No Limit. So BMB is definitely got a look that's comparable and a footprint that's comparable, that they could be in those same spaces and places. Only thing is that BMB is not producing. So how, if at all, does that dynamic contribute to the issue that you ultimately end up having?
Because of me not, like I said, know anything about contracts, and me really forming the contract with her boyfriend, and my attorney gave it to him and told him to take it to their attorney, but his thing was only doing stuff to get control over her, and he's a paralegal, her dude. So when he gave the contract back saying it was all right and told her to sign it, I still ain't, I didn't even read the contract, bro. I still hadn't read this contract in its entirety. I only read excerpts of the contract, and it was read to me during the deposition.
Well, damn.
I'm ADD or something, man. I ain't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Your heart's in the right place. Your heart has definitely been in the right place.
But see, that's the thing though. Like, I don't commit. Like, I never been in the business part. I'm just finna hook up with a dude, Steve LaBelle, man, who's finna teach me the business.
Oh yeah, LaBelle, no.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna fuck with him.
No.
You know, and he's gonna teach me the business, man. But other than that, I've been in the people, man. I commit to the success. I never committed to the business. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Yeah, I get it. I said, that's a common misstep for gifted intellectual, cats from certain environments. A lot of what that type applies is intuitive, right? And our inclination towards critical thinking. Critical thinking is what you were saying earlier that your father was imparting to you when he said, basically, don't just think about what it is you want in this moment and make a decision. Make a decision based upon not only what you want in this moment, but what you want ultimately as a direct result of this moment. That way you don't end up later on in a situation you didn't want to be in, that you didn't intend for.
Right.
And, so that level of aptitude, it will sometimes bring about a level of arrogance where you don't really listen like you should sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you think, you know, you're confident and you feel like, yeah, I need to be confident with my process. And you do. You need to be willing to fall on your own sword too, you know, when that happens.
A lot of my problems was I allow people to be kings in their environment or their area.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you tell me that you can properly run this company or properly do your position, then I'm going to trust you to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where my problem was. I was trusting people who said that they had helped create companies and start companies to do certain shit, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. If you had the understanding of what that took, then you wouldn't have had to rely strictly on your trust.
There you go.
You know what I mean? You could have trusted them enough to give them the opportunity, but you would have had enough understanding yourself to know when they weren't doing it right and stop them before they can do any severe damage. Like you did in the street, is mitigating, you know, risks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Adapting, making different changes at different points based upon your
And it's
situation,
crazy
how your
'cause
situation was changing.
I didn't even want to do the fucking company. I just wanted to help the girl. Like from hearing her story, Charli Baltimore's story, I just empathized with her pain of the past that she's experienced and her passion that she still has for music. So it was never was business.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was just trying to save a fucking soul.